Hi there, this is Jafar with a new video about the concept of mutability and immutability in Python. Let's understand what these words mean first. The word mutable means changeable and immutable means unchangeable. Something that's immutable will never change or cannot be changed. As you probably know, Python represents all its data as objects. Some of these objects, such as dictionaries and lists, are mutable, meaning you can change their content without changing their identity. And other objects such as integers, floats, strings, and tuples are objects that cannot be changed. Okay, what does this mean? Let's understand practically. Let's create a variable x which contains the value 2 and check its ID. So this number is the memory location. It's pointing to the memory location of x. And if we assign y to x, we will see that y has also the same memory location. So both x and y are pointing to the same memory location. However, if we change x and assign it to a new value, we will see that the ID of x has changed, but the ID of y is still the same. So y is still pointing to the old ID. And this is what immutable means. If you change a value of the variable, its memory location, meaning its ID, will also change. Similarly, strings are also immutable. So if we create another variable x and assign to the value test and check its ID, we'll see that it has been assigned to this ID. And if we assign y to x, both y and x are now pointing to the same ID, and we can check that by saying y is x, and this will evaluate to true. So they are both pointing to the same memory location. And if we change y this time and assign it to a new value, we will see that the ID of y has changed, but x is still pointing to the same memory location, the same ID. So that's what it means to be immutable. Let's understand what it means to be immutable. So let's create a list, a variable x which contains a list, and let's append. Before we do that, let's check the ID of x. So x has this ID, and if we append a value to x, number 4, for example, we'll see that x has been updated. However, so the list have been modified, but the ID is still the same. So changing the value doesn't affect the memory location. And if we assign y to x, which means then they are both pointing to the same memory location, and we change y by appending number 5, for example, we will see that y has changed, of course. However, the change has also affected x, and this is what it means to be immutable. If both variables are pointing to the same memory location, a change of one will affect the other. So now to clarify this further, let's go back to the PowerPoint. So we understand that mutable means object ID doesn't change when the content of the variable changes, and immutable means object ID changes when the content changes. Let's understand this further by using an animation. So if we create a variable x and assign it to number 2, we know that it will get its own memory location. And if we change the value of x, what will happen is that x will now will not be pointing to this memory location, but it will be assigned to a new memory location. And what happens to the old memory location? This will be deleted by the garbage collector. Let's see another example of immutable variables. So if we again assign x to 2 and assign y to x and z to y. So all these variables are pointing to the same memory location. And if we update or change x, we will see that now x will be assigned to a new memory location. And if we also change z, and similarly z will be assigned to a new memory location, and y it's still pointing to the old memory location. Let's see also what this means for mutable objects such as a list. So we have created a list which contains 3 items, and of course this will get its own memory location. However, when we change the list, meaning append another item to the list, we will see that the memory location doesn't change. However, the values of the list is updated. So that's what mutable means. The ID doesn't change when you modify the value of the variable. And this table contains all the objects and whether they are mutable or immutable. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.